Hi, I'm Judi James, and today I'm going to be telling closer readers all about body language. There is some body language. A lot of it is what's called physiological. So it's quite teenage, it's a little bit of blushing. It's almost as though they can't stop themselves from smiling. And then as part of the mating ritual, they start to display their bodies a little bit more, so the chest gets slightly puffed out. The other thing that's part of the animal mating ritual is showing how good you are at skills. And I think in male human terms, that turns into things like throwing peanuts in the air and catching it with your mouth or punching your mate. So a lot of quite juvenile, silly behaviours, plus a slight alteration in body posture. Women do the body posture thing as well. So usually if you see a woman fancies a guy, she might have been sitting there like that 1 minute, next minute there's I call it the Kylie look, a slight arching of the back. Maybe a few touches just to check that the hair looks okay. But apart from that, it's very similar to the guy. Slight shyness, looking and looking away, maybe a little bit of blushing and what's called the secret smile. The whole thing about wearing glasses, and Glasses Direct have actually done a survey that says that we are more attractive and people will notice our eyes more. This is the great thing about glasses and why so many people are wearing them as a fashion accessory at the moment, is because they draw attention to the eyes, which is exactly where you want the attention if you're going to be flirting. So if you've got nicely framed eyes, and a lot of celebrities are wearing what I call the Clark Kents, the ones with the nice dark frames, A, it makes you look very intellectual, and B, you're drawing attention to exactly the right part of your body that you need to be flirting with. And also it can slightly magnify the eye expression. So it really will help to wear them. When we're being polite, we start to be what's called overcongruent. So when we don't want to speak to somebody, we almost over-display the fact that we do. And that means you can tell by the smile, it goes into that horrible rictus with fixed grin. It's called a stretched social smile. But look for the glass of drink, because the higher up that gets, the more they're trying to get you to go away. Also, you might see the eye gaze. Where we look is where we want to be. So if they're looking towards the door, it's pretty much guaranteed that they're looking for an exit. Good flirting is subtle, with a capital S. So it's important to be subtle, and that means that most, if not all of the signalling is done with the eyes. So it's that literally their eyes met across a crowded room. It's drawing eye attention. Forget all the rest of the stuff that we hear about, stuff that we should be doing with the cocktail sticks and things like that. Just with the eyes, you hold the eye gaze for just a little, half a second longer than normal, look away slightly, and then look back with the head tilted down. But smile as you do it. Don't give them what's called a baleful look. But it's attracting the attention to the eyes that is the main thing to do. What's interesting with humans is that we're the only animals that have got the white of the eye showing all the time. And what that means is the kind of signals that animals would send close up, which a lot of it is done with the eye movement, we can do it from a distance. So we move our eyes and we can actually signal from long distances. So we're lucky in a way that we can still be quite subtle. And almost employ the same signals. I mean, obviously, if they're a long way away, you might have to end up doing a lot of semaphore or something like that. But generally, the signals will be the same, which is why you see so many politicians and actors. They have to act as though the camera is right there and just do very subtle eye movements. And it will really still say a lot. And it will be the same from quite a long distance as well. We notice things, for instance, like accelerated blink rate when people get annoyed. There can be a slight movement of the eye direction. There can be a coldness or an affectionate look in the eyes. Most of those will actually transmit over very, very long distances. I would suggest the only body language you use is to get your legs moving out the door, because you never ask for promotion at the Christmas party. Ask for nothing. Don't even speak at the Christmas party. I mean, really, the behaviour at Christmas parties needs to be almost angelic, but at the same time looking as though you're not a killjoy, which is a really hard thing to pull off. And to go in actively, and I know people think, oh, well, they've had a few drinks, they'll probably say yes. They won't. Bosses are very good at getting very drunk, but snapping to consciousness when they're asked difficult questions. It is the worst time to ask. What you do at the party is to present yourself well. Great entrances, be charming, show that you can socialise, show that you remember things like, you know, the boss's husband's got doing a degree or something like that. So you act as a PR exercise for yourself. And by the way, do great handshakes as well if it's that kind of Christmas party. But wait and wait and wait and ask in the new year once the hangovers have gone, but not on the spot, whatever you do. Yes, there is. Body language is not a precise science, and I need to say that. So don't immediately pick on people if they do these things. But usually when people lie, they either become overcongruent, which means that their arms are waving all over the place. It's like verbal diarrhea. Or they stop moving altogether and try and do the sort of honest-looking eye contact. They always say that touching the nose is a sign of lying, and there is a little bit of truth in that. It's called the Pinocchio effect. Evidently, our noses do literally get a little bit bigger when we lie. Not like that would be great, but just they swell up a little bit and it makes them slightly itchy. But they might just have an itchy nose. You will see things that are caused by accelerated adrenaline, which could be faster blinking, slightly breathless, but there's not an absolute hard and fast rule, but the one that is hard to mask is when they're remembering or thinking of the answer to your question. Usually when the eyes go up and to the left, we're going into recalled memory, which tends to be more honest. When they go up and to the right, it's more creative thinking, which could be pants on fire.